Hello folks, welcome to day 17 of the daily November Speed Model Material Challenge. Whatever it's called. I haven't given it a name. But anyway, we're on the 17th day of November folks. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a nice Tuesday. Yes, I'll be having a nice Tuesday evening. After this I'm going to be going and watching the Great British Bake Off. I assume a lot of you are going to do the same thing because Bake Off is fun and it's the semi-finals. So no spoilers if you're watching it without me. Now today's prompt is fungus, which is not a fun word. It doesn't lead to nice imagery, apart from the mushrooms pretty much. And I like the look of some mushrooms, but we all love a certain type of mushroom the most, and it is of course the wonderful, the red and white toadstool mushroom. Everyone loves the look of them. They just look cute, don't they? So that's what we're going to be making today. We're going to be attempting to do that in Substance Designer. Now I'm going to be doing something I don't think I've done before. We're going to be making quite an extreme 3D shape in Substance Designer, but obviously it's 3D, so it's not going to be strictly 3D. It's going to be 2D, but we're going to make it pop out. I'll show you what I mean. You'll see. You'll get it. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for my software to load because I forgot to load it beforehand because I'm a professional. Just a minute. Sorry, I'm a bit flustered tonight. As always something going on. But I had a lovely lunch. A tea, sorry. I actually made a mushroom burger. Be quiet, voice mod. We'll just save this as a new scene and we'll be good to go. Just give me 1 second, folks. So let's keep you waiting. I was supposed to do this beforehand. 17. This one is called Fungus. And I'm going to name this Fungus. I'm going to rename this Fungus. All the steps, folks. But peek behind the curtain there, just to get a little idea what I'm going through. And then in a sec, I will switch back to the main screen. And then boom, main screen it is. So you folks can finally see what I'm doing. I was just deleting stuff from yesterday's stream. Yesterday was Forest, so I just basically saved the Forest one as a different name, and then I've got a new scene now. So let's just quickly go and give ourselves some flat uniform colours. I'm going to lower the music down a smidge as well. There we go. Now, yeah, I've got some uniform colour that we're going to use. Just going to make this a flat grey for now, just like I do at the start of every project, because it's the best way to do it, in my opinion. I'm going to set the roughness to that. Set the height to that. I mean, we're going to replace that in a second anyway, so it doesn't really matter, does it? So, save that. We have our fresh new project. Now, the way I want to do this today, I want to make a 3D shape from nothing. That's our front door. Sorry about the sounds. Donkey Kong, welcome. Thank you for following. Appreciate the follow. Oh, I need to reset the clock, don't I? I almost forgot to reset the clock. Okay, there we go. Refresh and boom. 2 hours on the clock. So yeah, we're going to try and make a 3D shape, but it's in 2D. So to do that, I'm going to be using... I'm going to start with the cube like I normally do. We can work to a plane in a bit, but I like the lighting better on the cube. And then I'm going to start with a gradient. Just a simple gradient like this. And then we're going to feed it into a curve node. And I'm just going to experiment because I've seen this done. I just don't do it very often for big 3D shapes. So I'm just curious to see what the outcome is that we're going to get. So let's just plug this into our height, into our normal, and into our ambient occlusion, just so that we've got a starting point. We're going to use tessellation today because it's a 3D shape. I'm going to set the tessellation factor to like 7. I want to go higher than that, but while streaming, my computer will die. Turn on DirectX, and we're going to make this scale something quite big. 10, you know, we might go nuts. Let's go 20. And you can see this is really pushing out what we can do here. So let's quickly go change this to a plane now, actually, just so that we've got what we need. Ooh, okay. It doesn't like that, does it? That'll just be banding from the image. Okay, so anyway, yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the curve node. We're going to try and create like a profile for this. So we've got this upside down. It's a funky tune in it, I like this. Okay, now obviously you can't go inside the shape, so we're going to just have to fake some stuff with shadows and stuff later on. But for now, we can kind of try and get something that we're after. The question is, what am I actually after? That's the main point, isn't it? So if you can hear people downstairs, we've got visitors. Not visitors, but Charlie's mum's at the door. Right, okay. So let's move these down a bit. Okay, already I'm not getting what I wanted to get, but that's okay. I've had a lot of excuses recently on substance design, so I apologise for that. It's just, you know, when you haven't used something for a while, and then I don't know about you guys, but my brain doesn't work well with that. Okay, so let's get a shape going on top of this. Not like that. I never wanted to connect there. I wish it didn't do that. It's a feature I'm not a massive fan of. Alright, let's get a shape. I'm going to plug this in to here. Ow. Actually, what I can try and do, before we carry on with that method, let's just try something. We've got a shape extrude. Is it shape extrude? Yeah, I think it's shape extrude that we want. This allows you to rotate a shape that you put into it. So if I just plug this into this, custom input, we can make some adjustments here. Okay, and then scale, full scale, bevel height. We don't want a bevel on it. We don't want bevel at all. Bevel curve. Nope. And then we can rotate this around. And this will hopefully give us our sort of cap that we want. So we can shrink that in a second. There we go. Right, so now we can use this and we can transform this upwards. So it gives us our like basic cap that we could have. Because we're faking stuff. Who's that a picture of? What? Who's that a picture of? It's a mushroom. It's a fun guy? Is that what you want me to say? It's the life of the party. It's a fun guy. Ah, there we go. She got it. That's what she was looking for. Always fishing for the cheesy jokes, that one. Right, so yeah, we've got a little top cap shape going on. Mike's crackling again. Awesome. Alright, hang on a second, folks. Sorry about this. Just a second. I'm going to lose the sound for a sec. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, hopefully we're back and live and not crackling, not going rubbish. Fingers crossed it should be all good now. So yeah, anyway, the shape. So we've got the cap in there. Let's get the shape for the stalk, the stem. Not crackling. No crackling jokes. Good. That is a win-win in everyone's book. Yeah, so let's get the stem in there. I believe it's called a stem. I'm typing stem because I'm an idiot. Shape. Okay, and then we're going to use a capsule. Been using a capsule a lot recently. I tell you folks, I feel like I'm kind of looking forward to November being done, so I can focus more on like actually studying up on my substance designer more. You know what I mean? Like, what I should have done before November started is I should have gone through all my old notes and watched the old videos I used to watch and stuff, you know, just to get a refresher, a little reminder of some of the little tips and tricks I used to use that would really speed things up and make things look a lot better. And I just didn't. So that means I'm basically just trying my best. And the good news is you get the embarrassment of it being all on stream as well, so yay. But yeah, as soon as November's done, I'll be able to focus more on relearning stuff that I've already forgotten. And then next November, you're going to be in for a treat. Right, let's get this. Levels. Let's crank this up. Okay. We've got our rough, very rough shapes in. Let's just make this a little bit longer. There you go. Okay, not looking great, not looking awful. Pretty standard stuff. So let's get our transparency node. We haven't got one at the moment, so let's whack an opacity on this. We need an output. Thank you for the follow. Okay, so opacity, there we go. Oh, just deleted it, awesome. Can't see past my pig and mic. There we are, and then material. Right, so let's add an item. We're going to, instead of diffuse, we're going to change that to opacity, and then we've got ourselves an opacity output. So now, if we use a histogram scan, like we have been using so far, just to really force a solid shape out of this. Probably help first if it was fed into an auto levels. And that just boosts everything to white. Like the top end of what it is. Actually, it won't do it there. Never mind. Okay, something like that should do. And then view outputs in 3D. There we go. It's a toadstool. Magic. Right, so if we focus on that, we'll try and emulate what we're seeing here pretty much, actually. That's probably the best bet. If we have one angle, because it's 3D, but we're doing it on a 2D plane, we have to pretty much just use one set angle on that. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to give that a go anyway, see how we get on with it. So yeah, let's see how we get on with this, shall we? Squish that a bit more. Do a bit of a jaunty angle. And then the base, I'd like to have it going into something. Like maybe we can have a bit of grass or something in front. Yeah, you know what? Let's do that. Why not? Let's get fancy. Let's get real fancy. So I'm going to get a shape. Just a square will do. Make it thin. Get a directional warp. And we get a gradient, and then we can we can push it in certain directions with this gradient. See, like that. We can change it up. We can transform this, and then it'll give us more control over the output and the directional warp, so that's kind of handy. So we can get like a kind of additional warping going on. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to chop off a bit at the top of this. Okay, so blend this. So how's everyone doing tonight anyway? On this lovely Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. You all well? It feels like it's a Thursday to me because I'm off Thursday and Friday this week, which means tomorrow is my Friday, if that makes sense. And I can't wait. Because it's PlayStation week. The new generation of consoles is such an exciting time for me. It always has been. I don't think it'll ever change. Because it's a once in a... It's not a once in a generation thing. I guess it's once in a console generation thing. But it's like, it's such a rare event to have a new console come out. Especially this exciting generation that we're in. You know, there's loads going on. So I can't wait to try it. I can't wait to try the Dual Sense and get all little bits and bobs going on. It's going to be great. Right, let's use a normal warp here. And I'm going to use a directional noise 4, because that's a soft one. Plug it in there. If we change the scale on this to be something quite big, that should help. Okay, and then we can change the intensity of this, but I'm going to double that. And then I'm going to use blur on the actual the input for the transform, from the transform, sorry. And that'll just give us a softer reaction to the warp. Now I want this to be more extreme, this snip off bit that we've got. That's a little more grass-like, isn't it? Something like that. Grass doesn't have that much warp to it, but it has some, so we're just going to have a little wave like that. Okay, and then we can use a little shape splatter node maybe? No, what we're going to use for this. Let's use a sampler. Lock a tile sampler in there. And then we set that to pattern input, and then we've got our bits here. Now we just want this all to be at the bottom, so we can feed in a mask in a second to adjust that, but first of all we want to make this much bigger, this grass to be massive. So we're just going to have this set to like, I don't know, 6? Something like that. 21. If I set this to 21 by, actually 20 by 10, and then I can go set the scale on the Y to be 2, and that will help it fill the gaps. Oh, not the Y, sorry, on the X. Right, let's get a gradient map going on. This can help us control where the grass is actually going to be. Just flip this first. Pattern distribution map. Okay, now if we tell that we want to use that, so pattern distribution map, and then if we start increasing this, should start to have an effect on here. Oh, mask map as well. It's actually mask map I was looking for. There we go. Now, the reason we're getting some at the top is because it overlaps, but we can fix that. So we want these to be flipped a little bit. We want some, so symmetry random, only horizontally. Okay, that's good. And we want some scale adjustments, so scale random, up the scale some more. See, we're getting something now. Position random. Okay, we want more. That's what we want, some more stuff. So let's go get some more in. So we've only got 20, let's go for 40 and 20. And then we can scale those up again. Okay, change the position on these. Make some of them thinner, make some of them a little shorter. We basically just want them to be on the bottom, so let's make an adjustment. Give it some offset. Right, what you're going to blend two of these together, I think. Right, we're 20 minutes down already, folks. 20 minutes. There we go, and then we can just crop the top part off. We'll do that in a second, actually. Where is that thing I'm looking for? I'm looking for an option that says bounding box. Never mind. Right, we're just going to cut the top off that. We'll do that in a minute though. For now, we're going to try... Actually, we'll do it now. Why not, eh? Yeah, as I was saying before, I'm looking forward to the end of November at the moment. I'm enjoying doing this, but sometimes, I don't know. Sometimes I don't enjoy it as much as I feel like I should do. That's fine, you know, you don't need to enjoy absolutely everything. But I think it's more important to focus on learning and developing. At the moment, I'm just sort of regurgitating stuff that I already know I'm rusty at, if that makes sense. I'd rather feel the accomplishment of learning something new and going forward with it. That'll happen, it's just in 2 hours. I don't have time to do that. So I'm looking forward to just getting deep into it afterwards. Okay, they're quite a bit lighter, aren't they? Let's adjust the scale on these. Something like that is more what I had in mind. Okay, now let's reduce the scale on this. We can actually use a random grayscale on this as well to adjust the heights on them, but I'm going to do that to this. I'll use a flood fill node on that. Actually, that won't work very well at all, will it? Okay, never mind. I'll use this. So you can set color random there, and that will give you different heights. See in the back? Which one did I change the scale on then? 1.59. 4.46, okay. So it's nice to have some variation in the scale, isn't it? So go set some colour random on this as well. Oh, that is the one with colour random, okay. Set colour random on this one. And so we get like a staggered look, which is pretty cool. So then we can reduce the overall strength of this with the levels. Just reduce the white amount, and that'll just reduce the height of the grass. We want to make sure it stays above the height of the toadstool stalk. Stem, stalk. We never did decide what that was called. Yeah, let's change the horizontal offset on this a little bit so it tries to fill some gaps. Okay, that barely moves whatsoever, does it? Okay, something like that will do for now. And then we'll just trim off the top again. Oh, that's just because it's on a plane. Okay, that's fine. Right, so we've got this shape so far. So what we want to do is we want to get some life going on the stem. Let's try that. Let's get this little frilly skirt part going on if we can. So in order to achieve that, we'll go over here, separate this to its own thing. 1 hour 35, okay, that should be fine. Blend. I'm going to get a shape node, not sharpen, shape. I'm going to use a paraboloid. In fact, I'm going to use what we did earlier for the actual mushroom cap. I'm going to duplicate that because I want to use a similar kind of shape, so I might as well start with the shape we've already got. Excuse me, I've got hiccups once more. Yeah, so we'll do this. We'll get a... I'm going to feed this into a slope blur grayscale node. And I want to use a directional noise 4 just to chip away some of the bottom of this. See the way the frilly bit's got like a little skirt going on? We want that to happen. If we just set it to min, it'll only chew away into the shape, which is what we want, but we only want it to affect the bottom really, so we can mask this out in a second. I also want to make it a bit more sorry, I've got a dry throat. You also want to make it a bit more extreme. So we'll get our levels out, plug that in there, and then we'll get that there, and just really heighten the contrast in that. And that gives us much stronger, more jagged shapes. Also, let's transform this so that we can squash it into shorter pieces. That works a bit better. So see, we're starting to get this kind of edge that we want, but it's not perfect yet. But if we blur this a little bit, this will give us more solid shapes to work with. Just a little bit of blur. Actually, quite a bit of blur can give us a good result there. Maybe increase this a bit. Well, that's working pretty well where it was. Okay, something like that will work, and then we can use a blend to just reduce how much of that we're affecting. So if I put this here and I get a gradient, just flip it round. Wait, that's the mask, sorry. My head's not screwed on straight tonight at all. Okay, now flip that. Okay, now that'll primarily affect the bottom now, so if we just use a gradient node, a gradient map even. Got a stump of the mushroom, that's fine. The stump, yeah, the stump makes sense, I guess. I thought it was like a stalk or a stem though. I feel like they're more sort of like official names. Okay, so see now, because we've reduced the gradient map, now it's just the bottom that's affected by that kind of frill. I'd like that to be a bit more extreme, but this is what we've got for now. So, yeah. Put that there. And then we can place this where we want it now. If we go to max lighten. Transform. They are stalk, I told you. Or was I saying stem? I forget. I've said them so many times now, they're just the same word to me now. Alright, anywho, back to what I was doing. No tiling on that. And we want to sort of pinch the top in on this, so let's go to use a trapezoid transform. And this will let us pinch in the top. Like so. Except we don't want it to tile. So there we go. We're kind of getting an effect that we want. Kind of. Let's shorten this a bit more. Well, that sits a little bit better. Kind of want to adjust the shape a bit more as well. So let me just see if we can get this. Use a directional warp. plug this into itself. Just push it up a little bit. You see you get like a little pickup. Now we obviously don't want it that strong, but I want to see how that looks. Okay, it's a little bit of a better shape now, I think. Alright, so we've got one little frilly mushroom stemmy stalky bit done. Let's go make some adjustments though, because it's quite jagged. Okay. Something like that maybe, and then we can use a blend over here, get ourselves that directional noise 4 again. It's been a handy one tonight. Or has it? We'll see if it's our demise, see if it's our downfall. I didn't mean to do that. We've got a blur. Okay, we just want to multiply this on top to give it a little bit of wobbly variation. But I'm going to adjust it first. I want to find a bit that I like. Okay, something like that would look good, I think. Okay, see, it gives us a bit more like the way that's got like a wrinkly, ripply look to it. And then we can just reduce the strength of that. Directional noise 52 has a real earthy noise for things like this. Thank you. I'll look into that. I must have an old version because I've only got up to directional noise 4. The directional scratches though, you know, it's a fancy one. The cat likes that one. Especially by the ear. Right, so I'm going to subtract some from the top as well. Maybe use purlin noise for that, just a bit softer. Purlin noise. Set it to a big scale. Blend. Put that there, subtract it from this. And we can use that mask from before for the gradient. To only affect the bottom. Today feels like a strange day. I don't know why. Also, can we talk about how that is the inversion of that. Alright, that looks a bit more knackered, so let's try that. Okay, a little bit more natural. And then I actually want this to frill out a bit more, so I'm gonna add a gradient to it a little bit. So move this all over here. We're getting loads of nodes again today, folks. Gradient. Let's get a transform on this bad boy so that it fits in the right spot. There you go. So let's just make sure this fits where it should be. Roughly that, and then I'm going to flip this around. And we're going to add to this, but reduce the strength of it. See, so the top should stay the same kind of value, and then the bottom gets whiter, which means it'll stick out more. See, it's a bit more of a skirt going on. So let's actually control this gradient a bit better with a curve. Oops, wrong node. 1 hour 20, folks. Alright, we can do this. We've got this. This is fine. He says, with a room burning around him. This is fine. But the room is my head. It's been my head all along. Ba-da-doo. Okay, so much like a lot of modern pop music, we want a more extreme bottom on this. I get some really interesting shapes playing with this. Very interesting indeed. Hi mate, you alright? How's it going today? Hopefully you're doing well. Okay, something like that should do for that shape. We can always blend that in a bit better later as well. Okay, so for now let's just focus on getting some of the top bits going on. Good, thanks. I'm not too bad, thank you, matey. I think I'm a little burned out with November. I was just saying before, I'm looking forward to being able to spend time relearning stuff that I used to know and using that rather than just trying to, you know, remember on the spot and then not having time to actually use the new knowledge. It's fun, but it's like, imagine if you're playing a match and you only know the first things that you learned in your first year of playing. All the bits after it you forgot. you know, I want to go back and relearn them. But you don't get time to relearn them when there's 2 hours. So yeah, it's going well. It's just I'm taking it a little bit slower today. Okay, let's get this. Let's get some more life going on. I want to get these kind of like line bits going on there. So to do that, yeah, it's a pain. So to do that, I'm going to try a little directional noise. This time I'm going to go with 2, I think. It's quite fine and grainy. We want something like that. So I'm going to use a cool little node now called Polar to Cartesian, I think it's called. No, it's Cartesian to Polar. Oh, that's funky, isn't it? Happy little accidents happen, I guess. Okay, so we want this one. Okay, this one is pretty funky indeed. Now, if I use a transformation node like that, I'll plug this in, and we can kind of fake some perspective on this a little bit. Do we have a skew in this? I've never actually looked. Yeah, we do. Cool. Alright, so yeah, let's go and try and align this with our mushroom top thing that we've got. Oh god, my brain has just shut off. I'm looking forward to this 4-day weekend. I feel like my head needs it. Okay, so move this in position. You got this. Thank you. Right, let's move this first. Four days of you playing Yakuza while I play Watch Dogs. Yeah, you wish. 4 days of playing Yakuza on the PS5 just to be annoying. Oh, don't forget the Overwatch. Actually, yeah, you can play Overwatch on the PS5. I never thought of that. Ooh, fancy. How fancy. Something like that, and then we can let's try a vector warp. I think vector warp would be a good choice here. Vector warp or vector morph? I always forget which one. Vector morph, I think. This is a pretty cool note. This lets things move based on the direction that they're going in. If that makes any kind of sense to anybody. So if I grab this and put it in here into normals, give this like a 20. And now this will move based on the stuff that I just plugged in. But that's not what I want. I want vector, the other one. Vector warp. Overwatch Friday does sound pretty interesting. Oh, it's Mercy. The healer that helps Bastion. Probably Mercy, because she can just stay connected to him. Is that a Spider-Man then? Okay, so we're getting a little bit of that line action going on, but it's too broken up. I want more specific lines, so let's just try an anisotropic for now. Anisotropic noise. Because we can set the Y amount, the X amount to 1, and that'll just make it straight lines like that, and then we can use that directly. So it's obviously really strong, but we can adjust that. Oh yeah, the Christmas event. I like the events that they do in Overwatch. They're like themed events throughout the year. Like the we had for Halloween. Right, so we want to dull out that effect a little bit at the top, so we can get a blend node. Another one. Let me see how can I do this. If I use a transform node, I want to use this shape. Actually, wait there a second. Configure that as a mask here. If I invert this mask, then I should be able to adjust it. No. Oh god. Come on brain, start working please. Okay, so now if you use that and connect it to this, it's a really strong effect, isn't it? I don't like how strong that is. Okay, so we're kind of starting to get the effect that I want. It's not right, but we're getting there. These lines need blurring slightly. And I'm one. Hopefully I remember to turn my fan off again today. I forgot again last time. It was on all night. Because I'm an idiot. Hopefully that's not making loads of noise down the mic. Right, that should be helping a little bit. That should be helping a little bit. My eyes are so tired I can't see if that's working properly or not. And I want to try and get like a little divot in the top. So let's try and do that now, shall we? Move that over there because that's where the stock connects. So we're gonna get a blend. Put it there. I'm going to use a another transform from this. What we're trying to do with this? Okay, if we can use a non-uniform blur on it. But that's not right. Non-uniform blur. You can't hear it. Okay, good. It took me a sec to figure out what you're talking about then, because I was thinking, what can't you hear? But then I asked about the fan, didn't I? I remember now. My brain, she is asleep. Okay, we want to invert this. I'm going to plug this into the transform so we can use that, and then we're going to use a mask. Okay, sorry, just a second. Subtract. Yeah, so this is what kind of thing that we want. We want to get like a little dip going, but we don't want it to be too strong. So I'm going to adjust the levels on this. So just something like that. So we get just a little dip in the top. I'm going to move it to where the point was before, where it was dipped. Oops. That's a little bit better. It's not great, but it's a little bit better. It's a little soft, but it'll do. And we'll just lower the white level of it. It's not so strong. I'll move to the side a little bit. Right, we're getting somewhere, folks. We are getting somewhere. I'm looking forward to my post-stream cup of tea with some cake and the bake-off. I'm looking forward to a nice relax. Right, okay. Shall we start getting these little bits on top, and then we can start looking at texture, because we've got an hour left, so we've got to be fairly sharpish with this. I wish I had time for all the little extra details and stuff, but we just don't, do we? That's part of the problem. I want to spend a lot of time doing something I'm really proud of, but in a 2-hour window, you just got to treat it like a game. I've just got to have fun with it. Not expect anything from myself for the results, otherwise it'll be more like today where I'm not enjoying it as much. So what we want to do is we want to make some of these little flecky fungusy bits, and then we can do what we did with the line effect up here. So if we get these and kind of scatter them onto a grid, and then we can spread that grid out. That made any kind of sense? Good look. Well done to you. You deserve a medal because I'm waffling nonsense right now. Ah, jeez. All right. Good old tar sampler. Let's try and have some fun. Let's try and have a bit of fun with this. So we're going to get a shape, just to be different. We're going to go with the paraboloid, or paraboloid, depends how you say it. I never know which way it's supposed to be. We're going to get a slope blur grayscale. And we're going to be quite aggressive with it. We're going to get a Gaussian noise, which I never use really. It's got too much dark in it to be super useful for me normally. But for what we want now, it could be pretty handy. Because we really want to like chunk up this piece. So if I set the scale quite mad on this. And then we want to use the levels to adjust that. I want it to be cutting out more than it is. So that's too much actually. No, okay, actually instead of doing that we're going to use add sub on a blend node. So actually we'll still keep that result and then we'll use add sub on this. And add sub should give us some pretty cool edging on it. So it gives us these kind of jagged edges and then I can use this as the mask. So if we get something like that going, and then we can use a warp. I probably should use the warp first, but I'm using it second, so, you know, fight me. Alright, pearl end noise. We'll see how this looks, then we might have to adjust it to be first again. Okay, something like that looks kind of funky. I like it. It's just a weird little virus looking shape. And now we can make some little variants of this pretty quickly with our transform tool. Nothing fancy, just something squashed. Okay, 1, 2, 3 variants. Scale this one up on the whole. So nothing super fancy going on there, and then we're just going to go here. We're going to give this a 3 pattern. Right, 58 minutes. This is the part where the stream starts to go quickly. So let's just get ready for this. Hopefully this works first time. If not, then we'll just see what happens. Alright, so that's pretty cool. I want smaller scale, so we can just reduce the scale here. So like I said, I'm going to attempt to use this through this node setup that we did up here. Now I wonder, can I actually just copy this? That could work. Let me just check a second. Alright, so I'm going to plug this into here, and then boom. The answer's no, really. Pretty rapidly, no. But that's fine, so what we can do instead, if I just go and delete most of this, I want to keep that, get rid of these. I can use this to control the positioning of these things, so if I go to my vector map input, and if I go to position, is it position? Vector map displacement. See, they start to move based on that normal map that I plugged in, but I want them to have the opposite effect. So instead of that, if I invert this, will that work? You know, I've never tried that before. Actually, I can just invert to OpenGL. That should do it, theoretically. Theory is a dangerous thing though, isn't it? Yeah, so they do kind of adjust, but that's not the kind of adjustment that I want. What I want is like a spirally shape. Shape splatter. Let me see. Shape mapper. No, circular splatter. Where's circular? Circular. Okay, let's try this. We're experimenting, folks. We're having fun. We're having a giggle. Give this 3 patterns. A 1, 2, and a 3. Right, so we want to give this a few rings. Quite a few rings, really. We want it to be smaller as well, a bigger radius overall. Yeah, we want to change the scale of the actual pieces, so we get this part here. Okay, let's use this as a test piece. I just want to test something a second. We're going to use this. And I want to see if I can get this to go on top of this in the same kind of shape that it's in. So where's the shape extrude? I'm just curious to see if this works. I highly doubt it will. But theoretically it should. Okay, so that's got quite a different result to what I was expecting. Oh, hang on a second. If I blend that with it before it gets transformed, that might work. Let's see, shall we? Let's give it a test. Blend that there. Blend this little fella there. He's a lovely little fella, isn't he? Lovely little fella. Problem is that just completely blows it up because I'm trying to do it that way. But I don't want to do that. Brain is not working anymore. For a second there, it was going well. It's just too good to be true. Let's see if this works or see if it goofs everything up. I'm going to save just in case. Right. Okay, that is kind of working. Just need to make some adjustments. Okay, we've got something going on. It doesn't look even a little bit good, but we've got something going on. And that's a step in the right direction, isn't it? So let's go and make adjustments to what we've got. So because of the way we're transforming it afterwards, everything's getting quite stretched out. So if we can counteract that by squashing them in the first place, that should help us out. So we want size on the X. We want to go the other way. Okay, we want to change the scale to even smaller. And we want a lot more of these. So if we get the... where is it? And we want to also offset it a little bit. It's too perfect at the moment. So if we go to pattern amount random. Symmetry random, and we can put radius random as well. That's not really working out great for us, but we can adjust this. Spiral factor, ooh, fancy. No, we don't want that though. Okay, spread, if we spread it out a bit more. Well, that's an interesting one. Offset along direction. You can tell I don't use this node very much either. We're going to use scale by ring number a little bit, because on this you can see that the pieces are bigger at the top than they are at the sides, and so we can replicate that. Right, we need more rings. To add more rings, we go to where is it now? Ring amount. Loads more rings. Now let's pinch in where the ring goes. So radius. an interesting little node, this, isn't it? I need to play with it more. Okay, so we're getting somewhere now, so spread the radius out a bit more. And then we need a bit more of a scatter going on. Dum, 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 dum. Alright, we're getting somewhere now. It's not perfect, but it's getting there. Let's just fix the spread a bit, make sure it's actually reaching where it needs to reach. Radius, I mean. So I kind of want this top point to go where the dip is that I put in before. It's the clappy song. Something like this is starting to work okay. The pieces need to be smaller still and more random. So if we change the scale of them, and then we can mask some of them off as well. I don't really want to mask many of them off because I like how many there are. I just don't like how uniform it was being. So now if we add more of them, it should hopefully help us out a bit. Okay, let's get another levels, and we can plug this into here and use this as the mask, and we can control it a bit better than what we've currently got. Okay, so I think something like that will do for now. Let's just go and adjust the overall strength of this. Slightly less. There we go, something like that is acceptable. Let's save. Right, so last thing we want to do pretty much is we're going to try and get this kind of texture going on the stalk itself, and then quickly look at the grass, because it's just placeholder grass right now, but yeah, let's move these over here so that we've got some kind of cohesion going on. Right, so to get this kind of thing, we can use, what can we use for this? I'm going to use a Clouds 1, I think, and give it a directional noise, directional warp. Feed it into itself and then give it the down direction. You get this kind of little wavy thing that we're going on here. So if I can use that, and then I can use the levels to pull some of that out, that should work pretty well. Again, it's lots of shoulds. Let's just see what happens, shall we? Where is the stock? Stock's here. Okay, cool. So we want to affect it behind the point. Let's see. Move this over here. I'm going to try and move all this stuff down. Okay, so let's see, 40 minutes. Right, 40 minutes. I wonder if this is the best option. Let's find out. Let's experiment. I feel like a pensioner telling stories of the past and nobody believes them. I used to be a dancer, you know, like I used to be good at this. All the tricks of the trade just gone out the window. That's what happens though when you don't use a certain skill set for a while. You get rusty. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, was to at least be using the software again, because I've not used it for like a year probably. So this way I'm at least using it. I'm keeping in touch with the navigation and stuff. I wonder. Let me just try something a second. I'm going to go really extra on this. If I use a flood fill node, which is expensive, but I can use it on this. Then use a flood filter gradient. There. Set the angles to down. That should give more of like a flap kind of look. Set to max lighting. Then we can just mask out the outside parts. Okay, it's not exactly what I was after, but it's not a million mile off. Let's see if we can control the strength of the gradient on this. Slope input, okay. That's not making a blind bit of difference, is it? Hopefully my mic's still connected. My computer's just done a stupid thing again where it says it's not. But it is, so I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you folks. Is it lying, is it not? Looks like we'll never know. Oh wait, I wasn't using the multiplier. Genius! Alright, let's try this again. Right, we only have half an hour just over, so I'm going to start colouring in a minute. But I just want to get this a little bit done first. For some reason it's now going left to right. Fascinating. Oh wait, it's doing it overall. Hi, you alright? How's it going? Right, yeah, it's doing it overall. I thought it was doing it per chunk, so stupid me. Let's knock these back down. Basically, my little plan didn't work, but that's okay. Let's just go and plug this into here. How you doing, MZ? Right, if we blur this off a little bit, we should get something we can use. But I'm running out of time, and I'm running out of ideas. And I'm running out of being awake. I'm quite sleepy. When it gets warm in here, which it is right now, it just drains you of all energy. Okay, so I'm not exactly getting the results I wanted, but that's okay. Sometimes when you're in a rush to do stuff, it's more about compromise than getting the exact vision done. And that's what we're doing, isn't it? We're compromising. Okay, so we've got a mushroom. Let's go quickly try and sort out some roughness variation and stuff. Actually, have we got time to quickly work on the rubbish glass? I don't like it one bit, but very quickly just try and make one little change to it. Subtract. Looks like I'm making a needle or something. Okay, so that effect's obviously too strong right now. But it just gives some kind of depth to the glass. Hopefully. go. And then now we can very quickly add some roughness to the mushroom, and then we can work on colour. We've only got half an hour, so there's not much time left at all. But we can do this. We've got something we can do with this. So far it's turning out okay. And you know what? Sometimes okay is all you can ask for, isn't it? Just accept it and move on. Min darken works a bit better for that look, I think. Okay, yeah, so let's get some roughness situation going on. So at the moment the main mushrooms are quite rough, but this top of this one's smooth, so we want to get a rough and a smooth together just to block it out. Smooth, kind of like that. And then we're going to put that there, put that there, and then we're going to go get the cap underneath all the bits. So to do that, we'll have to grab the cap itself and then add the bits. I just thought the bits are on the cap, aren't they? I messed myself over with that one. That's alright, we'll figure it out. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. We can pull it out of that piece separately. So if we just try and grab this, let's just say this for now. We can at least estimate it, can't we? See, so that's now shinier than the rest. It's obviously too shiny now, but still. Oh. 30 minutes, exactly 30 minutes, and freedom. Let's just see how we get on with this though. So if I was thinking about this properly earlier on, and I made sure that these were actually separate, like the original plan was, because then I can colour them separately and stuff, but we kind of messed it up a little bit, so that's okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this shape extrude. Actually, I'm going to duplicate this whole bit here. I think that should be right. If I duplicate this whole part, and instead of feeding in this shape with both of them, I'm just going to feed in the shape with the pieces in it. It should give me a mask I can work with, which of course it doesn't. Fine, that's okay. I will use histogram select to try and just pull out the lighter parts. All we can do is hope for the best at this point. So we want the range to be minimal, position to be high. Problem is, it's on a slope, so it's variable. Probably buggered it up today. Okay, how can I do this? Let's use... I want to try something a second, something weird. Well, that's frustrating as heck, isn't it? Alright, well, it is what it is at the moment. We can't do much about that. I feel like there is something I can do about it. I just can't, for the life of me, think right now what it is with 27 minutes left. But I need to be able to separate it, otherwise we can't colour them. Let's just try to do this again with some adjustments. Running out of time. We're running out of time. Sorry folks, I'll figure this out in a second. It's just a little bit tough right now. I'll duplicate all of this because I'll really want to mess with this stuff. If I just make this just a white disc. If I make these pieces just black. Or just white and then subtract it. So it's obviously not the same as what we're getting over here. It's not even a little bit remotely close. Awesome. It makes sense if that's the case because this isn't what we're trying to do with it. Let me just fix this a second. This is fine. It's frustrating that I just can't, for the life of me right now, remember how to do something simple. And sometimes that'll happen. You just gotta figure out a workaround. At the moment though, it's looking bleak. I can't think of how I would normally do this. See, because it's on a sphere, I can't change through the black to white range like I normally would, because it's on a rounded shape, so it's got all the colours in it. So there's always a part being selected by it. Can I use some sort of, let's see, some hackery? I might be able to use the green channel, and then let's just see if I can. Maybe I can run the green channel into, sorry, the blue channel into levels. Can I ever find that enough to be able to use a flood fill node on it? I doubt that'll work, but needs must. I'm desperate. Look, this isn't going to work though. Why would it work? Why would it ever work? Right, let's go for small shapes. No failure mode. Nah. Alright, you know what? We're just going to try and move on. Forget the specs. Oh, we need to colour them though. Oh god, we need to colour them. It was going okay for a minute there. I thought, good, we've pulled this around tonight. But alas, that's not the case right now. And that is fine. Just have to do what we can with what we've got, which isn't much. It's disappointing when this happens, but it happens, so you just gotta bite the bullet and get on with it. But I learned from it. I know for the future I would do the specs a different way, like I originally intended to. It makes sense why I was thinking that way originally. And now we know why it was, because I knew it wouldn't work. Well, I just had forgotten apparently. Let's get this bleeding stalk in. $18, oh god. I'm looking forward to this being over, but at the same time, I want nice results. And I want my computer to be nice to me. Just work. I'm going to get this, I'm going to subtract this from this one and then plug that in there, so that way we're not getting it on the cap. Okay, and we're going to do the same with the grass as well, pull the grass out from it. And there. Subtract. Okay, and then we are going to get the grass parts. That's what I was going to do. I'll duplicate this one, copy it in there, copy that in there, subtract. There you go. So now that's just left us with the bits that we want. Because we can at least start to breathe some life into this, even if we can't get it perfect. I actually might be able to fake the lighter pieces by using a curvature node and then pushing it too far. We'll see if we can do that. That might be an option. That might be an option. Let's just see what we can do. So let's get the red cap in there. And we've already got a mask for it here, which is quite handy. I'm going to use this setup. I like this setup just for base colours. It's just handy for a little bit of subtle variation. It's not subtle enough sometimes, but it helps. Okay. Right, so we're getting our block colours in. We're definitely going to run out of time. But what can you do? So let's quickly get the grass in. Okay, same again. And then we're going to just grab a green. Grab a different green. I'll swap those two around because I like it better that way. And then grab the grass mask. Right, it's looking like a pig and child's made it, but we're getting somewhere. Raise the value on that, it's way too dark. Alright, so let's very quickly go in. Let's just add some stuff to this, just try and give it some kind of pop going on. We're going to use some cheaty methods with shadows and ambient occlusion and stuff, just because we don't have time for anything else. Height. Actually, I'm going to use the height of this on its own. Because I really want to pump this one up more than the others. Okay, right, so this is really strong right now. Something like that works a little bit better. I'd also like to test something a second. No, okay. Can I play the levels on this to get something? It's worth a shot, wasn't it? Alright, curvature. So we'll get our own normal. Just copy that one. I'm going to make it stronger. Plug it into curvature. Then we've got more to work with. 11 minutes. That's not much time, is it? So I can possibly use this as a cheated little mask. So if I get the colours from the stem, put it in here. Then I can use this. So I'm just talking through my thought process as I go. I can use this, take off everything but the cap. Yeah, play with this in the levels. Ooh, we're getting somewhere. That's almost what I wanted before. It's not great, but it's getting closer. See, we're so close yet so far. Okay, that actually helps a little bit because it does have that kind of white rim on it, which is just handy. Let's see, can we increase the intensity of this? See, we don't want the lines, that's one of the problems, but we're going to get the lines. So let's try and not have it be so extreme. We're not getting a whole lot of... Still, it's getting better results than I was expecting it to get. We've got 9 minutes left, folks. We haven't got time to be messing about with this. Let's just get it on. Okay, do not like the lines. Not even a little bit. But what can we do? We haven't got time to fix that. Alright, well, if we blur it a little bit, that'll at least blur out some of the lines. Actually, yeah, we can blur it and then we can histogram scan that. That's closer to what we wanted. Right, that's not a million miles off now. That's not a million miles off. So we're going to save that before I mess anything up. Quickly go and fix this roughness from before so that we can use the... give the spots roughness. Put that into there. Put this into here. Oh god, alright. Today's been an interesting one, isn't it, folks? Okay, so let's add some shadow information to the stalk part. I hate that ping noise. says something's been disconnected. Nothing's been disconnected. I've not touched a dang thing. A ding dang thing has not been touched. Did I just multiply that on before? I think I did. Yeah, I did. So this is super lazy stuff. You shouldn't do this. In natural texture, you shouldn't have shadow information in your texture. You can have a tiny bit if it's like little stuff. But yeah, needs must at the moment, fortunately. But it adds a lot of life to this. It adds a lot of character to it, which is definitely what it needs right now. I also need some shadow going down from the cap, so let's quickly add some of that in as well. 5 minutes left. Right, we've got time for this, roughly. The grass looks terrible, doesn't it? There's nothing we can do about that right now. Right, mushroom cap is here. The spots are there. Let's quickly go and get the cap. Where is it? Shadow. Okay, so that should give some kind of illusion of depth at least. So it'll make it look more 3D than it actually is. It's a super cheaty way of doing stuff, but it's what we've got time for right now. Same for this little frill. Let's see if we can get it in for the frill as well. So I'm actually going to duplicate this so that they have the same light source and stuff. I'm going to put it back here, and I'm going to blend it on top of this part. Let's just go grab the frill. Okay, so that gives it some more depth to it now, I think, hopefully. Right, 3 minutes left. I'm not really sure what else to do without messing everything up. Oh, we want to give the cap a little bit of overall texture, don't we? Very quickly. Where's the cap? There's the cap. Let's give it texture before we give it spots. So this, we're going to blend something onto this. Excuse me. Fractal sun base. Old faithful. Just going to be real quick here because we haven't got time for anything else. Subtract. Set it really low. Well, that buggered the game up, didn't it? Well, forget that. That's not worth doing. That's not worth the hassle right now. We've got 2 minutes left. I would have liked to have done that, but no. Not right now. Not after what we've struggled with tonight. So, folks, I think that's it. I think we're done. It's definitely not great. It's probably one of the worst ones we've done. But it's something, you know? Sometimes all you can ask for is something. Put the light to match the shadows. There we go. So hopefully you've enjoyed this tonight. I know I haven't particularly, but sometimes that's how it is. So that is going to be, what's it called? Fungus? Yes, that is Fungus off our list now. So let's go to the main screen and we're going to tick off our Fungus tick, which is a weird sentence. Boom. Missed it. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, so that's today's one done. Little 2-hour shindig. It's okay. It's okay. It's not great, but it's okay, and that'll do sometimes, like right now. So what's on tomorrow's menu? Growth. You know, I feel like, what day is it? Tomorrow's Wednesday. I might have a couple of days break from stream and just do the work, because I've got some stuff coming up anyway I need to sort out time-wise, and it'll just be better. I think I need to spend some time looking at some tutorials and things that I need to brush up on stuff, and I can't really do that on stream. It's not fair to show people's tutorials on stream. So yeah, I'll probably be back on Friday, I think. We'll see how it goes. I might be back tomorrow, you never know. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, folks. I'll see you lovely folks next time. Have a nice evening. Bye bye now.